Go for it.
Just on that issue about how you scrutinise going forward and subgroup or not, I think one of the points Stephen was making was when we have the proposal from the bidder, that will also include the proposed governance arrangement. So it'll actually be easier for you to make that decision at that point, which won't be in September. So I just suggest you might wrap that up as part of the scrutiny session in the run into Cabinet when you'll have a set of proposals around governance.
We might be talking cross purposes. I'm not sure. I wasn't suggesting scrutinising it in September. I was suggesting in September we are setting our scrutiny work programme. So that was just about deciding whether it merits a subgroup or whether it should go to OSM. Or do you think even that?
And what I'm saying is whether or not that's appropriate will, I would have thought, partly be influenced by the proposals that have come from the bidder.
This links into the ongoing discussions both with bidders and with Cabinet members over the nature of the arrangements that will be in place and subject to a Cabinet decision. So things like how does a business plan get approved is itself part of ongoing discussions with bidders, and then will form the basis of a recommendation to Cabinet. So scrutiny may wish to look at that because it will then provide as Mike has said, an indication of how scrutiny might be able to perform a function and what it will and will not really be able to do if that decision is then made.
I think you're quite right to take it to the September meeting, and because I understand what Mike's saying, that it will form part of the bids, but I think it's perfectly right for OSM to have a view of how it would like its scrutiny to function to look at. So conscious that things might change in the September briefing, the February proposal, but I still think September should say from the outset to feed into thinking that it is our intention and our desire to have a standing working group or take it at OSM. I still think we can express an opinion, and I think we should do, and I think September will be the right place to do that.
That would have a material impact on a procurement. So that is why, if indeed it's the slightly circular nature of this, is that's why such things should be discussed in exempt session, because if you imagine bidders are listening to this discussion, that would have an impact potentially on the risk that they would attract to this opportunity, which is why we've tried to avoid such discussions in open sessions. And it would be difficult while we were evaluating bidders' submissions in September to talk about that in open session, because the level of council control is a material consideration both for us and the bidders.
Okay.
We're not talking about council control. We're talking about how we would scrutinise what the LEAP programme is doing. It's not council control. We don't have control. The mayor has control. I'm not quite sure where this is coming from.
Yeah, when I was talking about the subgroup, and I'll let Councillor Kent come in just a second to see if that was what he was thinking as well. I didn't necessarily mean a subgroup going on in perpetuity, scrutinising the work of City Leap forever. I more meant scrutinising what happens next. And so that would less be control over the whole partnership forever, rather than just sort of inputting at that particular point in time in what the governance might look like. But I think we probably don't have time to go into that in huge detail. I'm going to come to Councillor Kent and then make a proposal to wrap up.
I think what we're seeing here is quite a key principle, isn't it? That if we wait till February, we will be told what we're allowed to look at. If we start discussing this in September, you can feed back what we wish to look at. And I think for any partners that are watching, that's how you build confidence, actually, by sharing information, working together. It's how you build a long-term project. When you exclude people, when you put just one director on a board and information is flown through just one person, that's when you get into big problems. So if you want to bring, especially a public body, which involves accountability, also back to the people with you, what you need to do is make sure you've got robust systems in place right at the beginning. Whether this is a short-term or long-term thing, I hadn't even thought about. One would hope that after a year or so, you would have quite an embedded program of works. And hopefully by then, those works will be discussed more in public session rather than private session. I'm fully aware, especially in the build up to this and at the beginning, there will be a lot more private session elements. But at the moment, you've got three competing bidders, probably with very different projects as well. So you clearly, I fully understand why you have to be careful what you say in open session. But I think you need to bring all of us with you on this as well. I mean, that is very, very important with a public body. And that's why I was suggesting I didn't actually have what that should look like. And it could very well be us meeting more regularly, possibly in private session. I don't know.